Welcome viewers to Historical Journeys. The dim shape is moving into the dark profundities off Molt, a stupendous harbor from the dockside. A lady watches it move. Briefly, she assumes she sees her new spouse stumbling into the deck of the submarine. Ideally, he'll be back soon. However, she strains her eyes as the sub is gobbled up constantly onto its next mission. The April 1942 morning is still and peaceful, no besieging assault this evening. The HMS Urge, despite everything, will never be seen again. Furthermore, what befell her will stay perplexing for a really long time. Submarine evaporated without a follow in 1942. However, divers now know the answer to the mystery of its fate. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, and you won't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. In the oceans of Malta, jumpers examine an uncommon revelation made by college scientists. Many feet underneath the surface, the group tracks down the response to this secret. Despite the fact that the conflict is long finished, there are still individuals who are disheartened by the misfortune they endured. However, there are anecdotes about their friends and family. The most impressive are the U-class cruisers. In spite of the fact that it was little in size and expected for preparing submarines, it was extremely successful in maritime fighting. Normally, the submarine inside was a perilous spot, and 20 of the 48 U-class submarines saw activity. What might be compared to $17 million today, with cash raised from the assistance of individuals of Bridge and Wells. Towns and urban communities in Britain have yearly pledge drives to fundraise to purchase ships. And the Ridges Town's undertaking is a genuinely necessary drive. After the boat was sent off in August 1940, the occupants paid for the submerged scaffold and gladly acknowledged the venture. This program was shipped off the Great Trench of Malta, where the base camp were found. She is only one of the trucks in the fleet, which mostly consists of vessels of the EU class. Lieutenant Edward Tompkinson, regarded as deserving of the Victoria Cross and respected by his co-workers, was in charge of the ship. He was awarded the highest honor and is regarded as one of the greatest naval commanders of the two world wars. He expressed a large number of the group of HMS Ask-framed bonds with individuals of Malta. One team part wedded a Maltese lady, and the submarine had been effectively badgering Italian boats. The Italians' point was to take supplies to the Germans who were battling in North Africa. However, English subs went after and sank them as they cruised through the Mediterranean, making it more challenging for Field Marshal Rommel to keep his Africa cadaver moving. Achievement appeared to be natural for the critical her team, and they procure improvements as they demonstrated a serious threat to German and Italian transportation. While not sinking on exhausted ships, the submarine conveyed kayaks loaded with exceptional powers troopers right into it. This is on the grounds that the hub powers pronounced the submarine base an ideal objective for assault in 1942. The flotilla was ordered to leave Malta for Alexandria, a safer haven in Egypt, after it was decided to disband the fleet. The 42 Tompkinson made its final voyage with 32 crew members and 12 passengers on April 27 and 19. However, the force never arrived at Egypt. The deficiency of this extraordinary submarine and leader is profoundly unfortunate. For Tompkinson's situation, he left his better half, yet in addition a youthful little girl. This girl Bridget turns into the child of Francis Dickinson, trying to find out precisely exact thing happened to the drive. This work was vital on the grounds that nobody knew what had happened to the submarine. What's more, in 2015, a jumper professed to know the character of a wreck he found quite a while prior around 40 feet off the shoreline of Libya, guaranteeing he had made the disclosure without really thinking. The Belgian Jean-Pierre Misson dived from El Jarro near Top Brick, which is near Marsa. Notwithstanding, the nationwide conflict in Libya made it unthinkable for him to go there and investigate. The family members of the commander and team of HMS Argent might have been content to realize that their friends and family were far out in the distance in the huge sea. All things being equal, he told the English newspaper Everyday Mail, "I truly don't have the foggiest idea how to acknowledge something that isn't there. I got excessively near the fan," Livia said, despite the fact that specialists trusted the submarine had disappeared close to Malta. Another possibility was that Italian aircraft in the area were on high alert when Earth struck an Italian ship on April 29. Assuming Monsieur Mischild's cases were right, the outcome would have been astounding, since that motivation would have removed him miles from the course he should take. It's odd and in contrast to him, no doubt. Indeed, it generally appeared to be somewhat far-fetched to me. Since Tompkinson's grandson Dickinson collaborated with Canadian marine analysts Plate and Alexiades, the teacher has the college group itself has been reading up Malta's regional waters for north of 20 years. Furthermore, when Dickinson requests that they investigate a specific region, they say, indeed, this region is important for the sea where the Germans laid many mines. That is on the grounds that the group checked the sea depths. Beginning around 2014, they have been conveying submerged tests that can jump to profundities of in excess of 1,600 feet and remain submerged for as long as 5 hours. We found everything from 2,700-year-old wrecks to planes that crashed adrift during the virus war. Specialists looked through a couple of miles off the bank of Malta and recognized a shape basically the same as a submarine utilizing sonar. So they sent a submarine down to investigate. Gambin informed the paper Day-to-Day Mail about the state of the submarine. Moreover, Professor Gambin immediately affirmed that the officer could follow the orders accurately. He differentiated Maltese Telecaster PBS that from harm to the bow, the disaster area was in totally phenomenal condition. They sent the gathered materials to the English Service of Guard. Furthermore, the service affirmed that what they found was critical, and that the service was in good company to manage the issue, with the illustrious naval force giving understanding into the reaction of journey families. The group's families, drove by L. Tompkins' girl Bridget, desire to raise a dedication on the island and go to a commemoration administration 1 year from now to recollect the misfortune and energize rediscovery. All things considered, a gathering of 6 jumpers shut the book on the submarine in April 2021. They at last got affirmation when they tracked down a pinnacle in the submarine. Since the name of the field was composed on the pinnacle, Burge expert Gambin himself drove the group very nearly 360 feet. Gambin made sense of that reality is above logical interest. However, it is challenging to photograph the cruise line's name. Gambin made sense of that years after the submarine sank, Orgonian coral developed. Rubies are also protected by law. The teacher let Live Science know that since we satisfy global guidelines of not messing with the disaster areas, I won't toss the stone out. Teacher Gambin consumed a large chunk of the day to dive into the fiasco because of scourge admonitions. However, he realized responding to inquiries regarding the outbreak was significant. He said there was a major distinction between dealing with the sight of Roman boats and genuine show and dealing with something that emerged from late conflicts. This is on the grounds that there is a high likelihood that the groups of the casualties will in any case be with us due to the recent concerns. He said the Maine's girl was as yet alive. The adoration letter my mom composed is on the boat. As a result, I place a high value on diving safety and knowledge. However, the main thing is conclusion for the family. England's illustrious naval force said in 2019 that the disaster area would be viewed as a conflict grave. It was noticed that the disaster area would now be viewed as an authority war grave, safeguarded by English and global regulation. As a matter of fact, Francis Dickinson told the illustrious naval force in 2019 that the discoveries tackled an issue that tormented his loved ones. He said my family might want to realize the resting spots of HMS and Jen of Gallen. This bliss spread to Malta, said Gamba, who let the Imperial Naval Force know that seeing the extreme idea of the risk unafraid showed the fortitude of the people who experienced it, and the resistance of HMS Flood and Malta Island authorization. It remains part of the Imperial Naval Force and Malta's set of experiences. So ideally, due to the set of experiences and the groups of the people in question, more signs will be found. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay updated with our latest videos, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that red button below and become a part of our channel family.